Hi everyone, hope everyone is well. This evening I'm playing this scenario on the 16th of January 1809. It's part of Commands Colors Napoleonics, the main game, the base set. I've got everything set up here as you can see. It will take me comfortably, you can play all these scenarios comfortably in the evening, even when doing all the videos as well. I'm playing the game solo. Just a few things to note. The rivers, streams are fordable, so everything can cross those. The British straightforward army, they do have some grenadier guards over there. Same with the French, lots of line infantry and some light. And they do have some heavy cavalry over here in the bottom left corner. Both sides have two leaders. Both sides need 6 victory banners to win the game. So with no further ado, I'll make a start. And what I always do in my AARs, I will play the game and stop every few card activations, something like that, and discuss what's happening in the battle, what the narrative of the battle that's taking part. What we have here are both sides moving towards each other. The British a little bit more so. British have been able to take these two town hexes here. They have got a fairly exposed line infantry foot there with the French heavy cavalry looking very, very tempting to them to attack, and maybe the line will form a square. They do have some light horse here to help, but I don't think that'll stand off these two units of heavy horse here. On this side, though, the French tried to cross the river, and the British on that hill right over this side gave musketry, forcing the French to retreat across the river and inflict a couple of casualties on them as well. So fairly even Stevens, a lot of facing off against each other as the two armies are getting closer and closer. So the battle's starting to get into that important phase now. The French line have tried to assault the British in this town and were repelled, but they did inflict some casualties on the British. Equally here, this troops on this hill have had some fire and taken a loss, and in turn, the British were able to push back this line group here who've also taken a loss. So some losses on both sides trying to get into those all-important positions. The British in the middle have the upper hand because they're just tactically in a better position on the hills and in those towns. French on this side of though are getting very close to getting into this town, which is a good position for them to be in. They've been able to, so far, successfully start to cross the river. And on this side, again, the British have brought up their light rifles to try and help this lonely line unit. Definitely not looking too good with these heavy cavalry here still. So far, the British forces have been able to hold this line pretty well. The French have tried several times to assault different particular hexes and have been repulsed on every occurrence, both on the centre here and on the right. There has been a little bit of casualties. A few of the units have taken casualties, but nothing too significant at the minute, and certainly no victory banners. French are persistently trying to capture this town hex here, and it has been reduced down to one unit of line foot left there. So that's looking a little precarious, but they have got that artillery unit that is able to lay down artillery fire into this French unit. The French have retreated a couple of units back here. And again, the French trying to cross the river quite unsuccessfully, by the British being on those hills there, laid down quite significant musketry into those French columns as they advanced across the river. So quite a bit of drama in the battle at the minute. On the French side, they were able to take this hill hex here, defeat the British line unit that was there, and the British lost that unit, and so the French gained themselves a victory banner from that place, and they've got themselves in a good position there. Conversely, on this side of the centre, the British were able to eliminate both the line unit that was here and the leader, and also this line unit that was here as well. So they've got 3 victory banners as a result of that action. So at the end of that series of activations, the British have 3 victory banners and the French have 1. And the British do look in a good position. However, French do have these heavy horse here that could make short work of the line, and maybe short work of that light cavalry unit there. But the British are in a good defensive position still here, even with that flanking French unit there. And even more drama is unfolding. So the heavy French cavalry attacked this group here in line, who were able to form a square, but they did inflict a casualty on that group there. The heavy cavalry here, with some audacious use of particular cards, were able to charge the light cavalry and make them retreat and inflict casualties, and then pursue and charge the infantry that were on this hill here and destroy that unit. So there's a victory banner there for the French. Conversely, on this side of the battlefield, the British were able to attack the French here on that hill and inflict severe casualties, but not enough to make them retreat. And the British on this side of the battlefield started to move across to engage these rather easy targets for the British here, these units here. So in terms of victory banners, it's even Stevens. Both sides have 3. However, in some cases, the British look in a good position, especially on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, this heavy cavalry here, I think, will make short work of the light cavalry there. And if the French can bring up the artillery and start firing artillery into that square, that could make short work of the formation in square there. So the French are able to put down quite a lot of artillery fire from these 2 positions here, firing both into the square and also into these Guard Grenadiers here, inflicting casualties on both of those 2 units. The British have been able to engage the French in combat on the hill and inflict units here, and the British have pushed across the river and defeated one of the French units there and have gained a victory banner as a result. So it definitely feels like on this side of the board, the French have the upper hand. The middle, even Stevens-ish, I think. And then on the right flank here, as we're looking at the board, the British have the upper hand. The British could make very short work of these 2 last units there, and in doing so would win the game. So the French really need to hit this unit of square here, whilst they've been able to inflict the casualties on the Guards Grenadier. That's a 5 unit, or a 5 block, if you want to call them blocks, unit there. They can absorb quite a bit of damage from that artillery. So really the French need to move up some foot and hit them with both combined arms of the arty and of their foot as well. This is going to come down to the line, come right down to the wire. So the French heavy horse, the British moved their arty up to engage and support the unit in square. The French heavy horse took advantage of that, charged them in melee combat, got every single dice roll they needed, and destroyed that British foot artillery unit there. The same applies to this side of the board. The French heavy horse, the dragoons, defeated the British light cavalry on this side. So 2 victory banners there for the French. It gives the French a victory banner total of 5. Conversely, on this side of the board, the British, under the leadership there, were able to defeat a French unit in melee combat. So a victory banner there for the Brits. Basically means both sides have got 5 victory banners. Now the French, with the right cards, they could maybe either assault the town here, which has only got 1 infantry unit remaining in it, or they could try and hit the Guard Grenadier with the cavalry and maybe arty. The British, on the other hand, I think have the slight advantage. With the right card, they could attack on the right hand there and defeat that last unit there. So it's going to come down to who gets the right cards and who gets the right dice, makes the best decision. Also, this square unit here of the Brits is just down to 1 unit. So again, the French could also activate cards on the left units on the left-hand side as we're looking at the board, take out that last square, and they would get the victory banner. The next card pull is for the British. So the British could sew this up with just one card. So a victory to the French. The French were able to eliminate that square unit with the foot artillery and get themselves the victory banner. The British valiantly tried moving this Guards Grenadiers up and attacking this line unit, but not quite enough to eliminate the unit and take their victory. Victory to the French this evening. A battle well fought on both sides. It came down to the wire. If I had to call out particular units, the French heavy horse definitely were the main players in this battle, both doing incredibly well and very exciting to play with and use in the game. Commands Colors Napoleonics is a very thematic game. It's one of my favourite Napoleonic games, partly because it's very easy and quick to get to the table, and you can play a game comfortably in the evening, but it's also incredibly thematically a rich Napoleonic experience. This felt like a Napoleonic battle that I was able to take part in this evening, and a great game. Really enjoyed it. I always enjoy playing Commands Colors Napoleonics, if I'm honest. If you haven't played it and you're interested in the Napoleonic era, I think it's a great place to start and just a great game for anyone who's interested. If you have played this scenario, particularly interested to how it played out for you, I really enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to the next scenario in the scenario book. And thanks a lot for watching, as always.